This is the BenQ Rl2755hm monitor, and this is my full in-depth review. I've had this monitor now for about 10 years, and I'm going to let you guys know whether it's actually worth having in 2026. This monitor is designed for console gaming. It's the BenQ Rl2755hm RL series. It was designed to play for the PlayStation 4. It was designed for consoles back in 2015, such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Let's start off with the design. As it's a budget monitor, it's entirely made out of plastic, obviously apart from the display. It's got these red accents on the front to let you know that it's part of the RL series group, with the RL red logo there. It's also got red accents on the back of the monitor, next to the ports. The monitor has the BenQ logo at the bottom, and the bezels are quite chunky. So the base is also quite big. It's got this kind of rubberized pad to allow you to rest your Xbox or PlayStation controllers on the base. The base is non-adjustable, and also the monitor doesn't go up or down. However, it does tilt a small amount. Like I said before, this is a low-end kind of budget console gaming monitor. It was designed for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One back in 2015 when it released, so it's quite simplistic. But I think the design is, although it's quite simplistic, it looked good enough. Although the bezels are on the thicker side, they're not too thick, and I like that the bezels are kind of symmetrical in thickness at the top, side and the bottom. If we look at the rear, we can see, if we look at the back, we can see we've got this red wire holder to allow you to hold your wires. You've got some holes here, so if you want to wall mount this monitor or attach it to a Visa stand, you can do. At the top here you can see we've also got the BenQ logo, and on the left hand side of the rear you can see we've got this headphone stand, which is actually quite a useful feature. You can rest a pair of headphones on. Alright, let's get into the display. The display is a 1920 by 1080p TN 60Hz panel. Now, when this monitor was released, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 maxed out at 1920p by 1080p with just 60Hz. So they designed this monitor to work for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and therefore the monitor is just 1080p, not higher, and 60Hz. If we fast track to today in 2026, we've got the Xbox Series X and we've got the PlayStation 5, which output to up to 4K or 120Hz, which is where having a more newer and more advanced monitors makes sense. But back then in 2015, this was designed specifically for the console gamers in mind, which meant that they could keep the cost low to around £170 at the time of buying this monitor back in 2015. The difference between this monitor and say other monitors with the same 1080p and 60Hz screen is that this used a TN panel, which meant it had advantages and disadvantages. Now, TN is a type of display panel. There is TN, IPS, VA and OLED. TN is typically used for budget, low-end gaming monitors like this monitor here. The advantages of TN is that there are really low input lag and low latency and fast response times, which means that this monitor is able to offer a 1 millisecond response time. However, the drawbacks to a TN panel is that the viewing angles aren't as good, and the color reproduction and accuracy is simply not as good as an IPS panel. If you compare this monitor to another 1080p 60Hz IPS panel, you can see that the colors will be far superior on an IPS panel, or even a OLED panel, but obviously an OLED panel is far more expensive and for a different user and market. Like I said, the specs are 60Hz, 1920p by 1080p, and the screen technology is TN. It's 27 inches. Now, what is this monitor good for? This monitor is good for as a second display. I use this monitor as my second display in combination with my LG 32 main display. I use it as a secondary display. Although it's not 120Hz, it's fine for putting up things like emails and documents, web browsing. It's perfect as a secondary display. You could even use it as a primary display. As it's 27 inches, the 1080p resolution actually isn't too low. Although you can obviously get 4K and Quad HD monitors, the 1080p screen is more than sharp enough at 27 inches. Obviously, it's showing its age from 2015, and given that it's 10 years old, it's actually quite impressive how good the quality of the screen is. You can now pick up 120Hz, 160Hz or higher monitors for the same price as when this monitor released back in 2015 at £170. You can find monitors from the likes of LG and Asus, Samsung that offer 120, 160Hz, 200Hz monitors at 1080p or higher at 27 inches, which is just what happens when technology upgrades over time. If you are still using a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, this is a perfect console gaming monitor. Or if you're looking for a monitor, you don't need to have a crazy high refresh rate, like 120Hz, and you don't need 4K resolution or Quad HD. You just need a monitor to connect to your PC for like simple tasks like web browsing and mail. Then this is a perfect monitor for you, probably. Like I mentioned, obviously it's limited by its 60Hz display, so it's not great if you've got an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 or you plan on playing games at over 60Hz, then this isn't the monitor for you. This is for simple use tasks like web browsing, email, Word documents, and yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic second display. When it launched at £170. You can now pick it up second hand for about £45 on eBay. Sadly, as it's over 10 years old, you can't buy it brand new anymore. When it comes to ports, it's got two HDMI ports that are 2.0, not 2.1. It's got a DVI port and a DV sub port and two 3.5mm headphone jacks for audio. There is no Thunderbolt or USB-C port, which is what you would expect for a 2015 monitor. Should you buy this monitor in 2026? Probably not, because you can buy monitors with far superior technology like 160Hz or high resolutions for just a bit more money. You can buy this for £45 second hand, which is a bargain of an option, but I probably wouldn't buy this monitor if you're looking for a monitor in 2026, because 120Hz is now becoming a standard for monitors, and the TN panel, although it's great for fast response time, the colours aren't great. Well, that's been my full in-depth review, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.